Hi everyone and welcome to this week's edition of the Final Gallop, episode 387, proudly supported by the Brisbane Airport Hotels Group. This week we'll preview our big team of runners at Eagle Farm on Saturday. Tony, good morning. We're a couple of weeks away from the Winter Carnival, but we're certainly getting an early taste for it this Saturday with a few stepping out for our stable and big racing starting to kick off.
Yeah, definitely. I know. Good morning, Matt. Good morning, everyone. The Carnival, probably the official kick-off is probably the Victory Stakes in a couple of weeks' time. But you can see even from last Saturday's races, things are starting to heat up now. Championships are over. What a great 2 weeks they were in Sydney. But you can see now their first listed, particularly a sprint race on this weekend, chock full of high-rated horses. This is the strongest Ascot Handicap I've seen for some time. It really shows that the Carnival is really on its way.
And speaking of the Winter Carnival, one of our Group 1 stars heading there is Antino, and he had a good pipe opener there at Deagon Trials on Tuesday. What was your thoughts on his trial there?
Yeah, really happy with him. I've been super happy with him here. He just seems a really happy horse back in his routine here in Brisbane, and we saw how dominant he was here last winter. He's unbeaten a mile. He's unbeaten a mile or plus here in Queensland, so he trialled really well. I had the blinkers on him in full race gear. Benny Thompson sat on him again. He's only ever trialled him, never ridden him in a race. He'll ride him in the Brisbane Handicap next week. So he did exactly what I wanted. He hasn't won for some time. So to see him win that trial, I know it's only a barrier trial, it gives that horse great confidence. And looking at him under saddle this morning, he's bounced through it in great shape. So looking forward to him kicking off his, hopefully his Doom and Cup preparation next Saturday in the Brisbane Handicap.
Beautiful. And we'll get straight into our big preview of Eagle Farm. On Saturday, the rail was in the 1 metre position. Track is currently a soft 5 with fine and warm conditions ahead. How do you think that track will play on Saturday?
It'll play pretty standard. Eagle Farm's pretty consistent now. We know what we're going to get. It's going to be good ground for sure. We've got quite another 30-degree day today.
Yes, of course.
So they're going to put plenty of irrigation on this track, and I'm sure Ross Smith and the team have been doing that. It will play offence in the straight. I know they'll say that you can get lower, and they will get down lower as the meeting goes on. But they won't be. I don't think they'll win hard rail. I think it's certainly never a disadvantage to be sort of 3 wide and running, particularly with a trail when you've got that low rail position. So I think there'll be offence in the running, particularly early in the meeting.
Yes.
That might change a little bit as the day goes on.
Beautiful. We'll get straight into it. We'll get stuck into race 2 as the benchmark 70 handicap over 1,000 metres. We'll have 3 runners here. The first of those we'll preview is Arisphere. Kicks off her summer campaign. Will carry 60.5 kilos with Talia Fenland's 1.5 kilo claim. Jump from barrier 8. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $31 for the win, $6 for the place. As I mentioned, she is first up for this preparation, coming off a good trial win and then a nice, impressive jump out win as well.
Yeah, she's come back really good. She's a big price in the market. I guess it just shows you the strength of this race. Obviously, the stablemate, which we'll get to later, is probably stifle the market a little bit. But she's a lovely flowing filly. Talia rides these horses really well. Horses allowing them to breathe and just get into a rhythm. I think with her on, you're going to see her pretty close in the firing line, even though there is a bit of pressure. She'll probably find a 3 wide line somewhere, just getting a nice enough run. It's just whether with the depth of these races, how she's going to handle this class. It's only a benchmark 70, a grade she's been really, really good at. But this is a uniquely strong benchmark 70. You can tell the Carnival's on our doorstep.
The next runner we'll preview is Surprise Honey. Will carry 59 kilos after Chelsea Baker's 3 kilo claim. Jump from barrier 6. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $8.50 for the win, $2.30 for the place. She's also first up for her winter campaign. Trialled up nicely and beat some handy ones home at Doomben last week.
She's going super. Really, really good. With the claim, she gets in beautifully. 1,000's always a good point to kick her off. She'll jump, she'll roll on speed. Where she's drawn, I'd imagine with even a little bit of cover, they'll go quite quick in this and she'll present and run really, really well. She's in good order, this horse. She's right up to the mark, and it's a shame they have all these nice fillies and mares in the same races, but they're obviously heading towards different, different directions during the Carnival, but she's come back very, very good.
And the third of our runners we'll preview is Balance the Books. We'll carry 58.5 kilos with Angela Jones on board. Jump from barrier 10. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $2.50 for the win, $1.35 for the place. She's also first up for her campaign and coming off 2 very good hit-outs, a jump out and a trial. She's only lightly raced with 4 stars, but for those, she's had 3 wins and 2 of those have been first up.
Yeah, she's pretty impressive. That low rail certainly helps her here off that wide draw. She'll no doubt just sort of sit just off speed a little bit. She's pretty versatile. She can sort of be wherever she wants in running. We've seen her jump at trials and be right on speed, and we've seen her be slow and just go back. So I'd imagine with the amount of speed, we're midfield to second half of the field, tracking up with a bit of cover, and she's going to come with the big bounce late. If they overdo it on pace, which they could easily do in this race, she'll be the one finish off. I can't tip away from her, but I do think her and Surprise Honey should be closer at 1,000 metres, definitely.
The next race we'll preview is race 3, is a classics handicap over 1,805 metres. We'll have 3 runners in this race. First of those we'll preview is Brindavan. We'll carry 58.5 kilos with Ryan Maloney on board and jump from barrier 2. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $3.40 for the win, $1.45 for the place. He's having a really good prep for us. 2 starts ago, one at this track and trip for Ryan. It's good to have him jump back on board. Stepped up to 2,000. It was just a messy race there last start, so back to 1,800. How do you think it sets up for him?
Well, I think this trip suits him. You're right, Matt. It was just a really messy race. I love him drawn low, getting cover straight away. He's just got to switch off, which Ryan will get him to do. He's had a few runs, but he's going very well. He's very consistent. Just was so messy the other day, brought himself undone in the run. So he'll relax nice here. There'll be enough speed with that low draw to get cover. He's going to be very hard to beat.
The next runner we'll preview is Queen Air. She will carry 57 kilos with Angela Jones on board, jump from barrier 3. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $16 for the win, $3.50 for the place. She's yet to get in the money this preparation. Tried to sustain a big run last start over 2,000, back to 1,800 here. It's the first time she's actually drawn a gate, so hopefully she can be in a better position.
Oh, absolutely. Her run 2 starts ago at the Gold Coast was great. She was really good through the line and sort of had a lot of confidence in it the other day, and it was just an absolute abortion. It just did, nothing went right. So I'd ignore that last run for the reasons you've mentioned, wide and working, and just never had a break. And it was not a day you need to be wide and working. So different here off that low draw, she'll jump and she'll go to sleep with a bit of cover, switch off, and be there to be strong late. She's a big improver. I know I've been saying that every run with her, but she looks fantastic. She's working well. She's got the ability to be right in the finish of this race. So look, she'll run particularly well.
And the third of our runners we'll preview is Make a Call. We'll carry 52.5 kilos after Chelsea Baker's 3 kilo claim. Jump from barrier 8. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $5.50 for the win and $1.85 for the place. Just beaten last start at this track and trip. Gets in much better at the weights versus the winner. We also accepted in the mile, but we were tossing up and we decided to run in this race here over the 1,800. How do you think it sets up for him?
Well, I think that probably helps him, you know, the lightweight. So we tossed and turned, as you know, with the mile race yesterday, and we didn't know which way to go. One was a massive big field, which could be messy for a horse like him. He's quite quirky, and I thought Chelsea handled him really, really well last start. So to utilise that claim, get him down on the weights in a smaller field, and he's a horse that likes to race outside horses rather than getting underneath horses. So we probably get our wish here. Hopefully we've gone the right way. I think lightweight, he could run well. He's got the ability to race well here, and it sort of tells us what trajectory we can go on post this run with him. But look, all 3 of these horses have got a good chance. I can't go past the Brindavan on top. I think he's at the peak of our 3, but it wouldn't shock me either one of them.
The next race we'll preview is race 5. It is the benchmark 70 handicap over 1,600 metres. We'll have ready for the trip here. We'll carry 60 kilos. Ryan Maloney on board and jump from barrier 10. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $8.50 for the win, $3.10 for the place. Much improved run last start. Strong finishing, half a length second at this track and trip. We know he loves getting back to Eagle Farm. How do you think it sets up for him?
Sets up good. That horse that beat him, Sir Winnie, won again.
Yes.
Won again last Saturday.
So, yeah.
Won again last Saturday, so it's got good form around it. He just peaked, I thought, and it ran out in front of him a bit the other day. So he's just about ready, isn't he? Well, so it took a few runs just to get him fit. I started him over a bit further. He's in good nick. Ryan rides him well. He'll roll forward to the speed. He'll settle anywhere in the first 3 pairs. And this is his right grade. He's $7.50 is about his right mark. Could start a couple of points shorter.
Yep.
I think he's the right horse for the race. It's a decent race. You know, jam-packed field. Benchmark 70 horses, competitive race, but he certainly, you know, both totes, you won't be far wrong.
We'll move on to race 6. It is a benchmark 85 handicap over 1,200 metres. We'll have 3 runners in this race. First of those we'll preview is Sunset Dreaming. We'll carry 59 kilos. Ryan Maloney on board and jump from barrier 2. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $9 for the win, $2.90 for the place. She's first up for her campaign. She's a stakes perform mare. We had an easy trial last week after a short break. How do you think it sets up for her kicking off?
Yeah, I think pretty well. The low draw is my only concern. Love her to draw to a mid barrier. She likes to get to the outside. Doesn't travel great underneath horses, but good tracks definitely suit her. So she should jump well. Just want to ride her where she's comfortable, you know, midfield-ish. Then look to be getting some room, get to the outside. I think she'll run on really well. Whether at this sort of trip, you know, when they've got the speeds like now is the hour, and even Bundella, who's in great form, fit up on speed, whether she can run them in, I'm not sure. But I think it's a great lead-in run for her, and hopefully we can have her in good form, finishing off and get to the silk stocking in 3 weeks' time.
The next runner we will preview is Bundella. Will carry 54.5 kilos with Chelsea Baker's 3 kilo claim and jump from barrier 6. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $5 for the win, $1.80 for the place. Certainly one of the form horses in our stable, having won his last 3 races or at this trip in the city. He's up in grade with a good draw. Chelsea knows him well and gets in well at the weights as well with her claim.
Yeah, that's probably the key, isn't it? Gets him beautifully at the weights, keeping that weight off his back. He's won 3 on end all in the city. He's in good order. He jumps, he finds a lovely spot. He'll be sort of on speed without leading. They'll go quite quickly. But we saw him able to do it the other day. He sat second, as long as he's got plenty of room. So I think he probably finds a 1-1 here. I certainly see enough tempo in this race, depending on what a few others do from whitish draws. There's no doubt now is the hour he's going to run along. So I think Bundella jumps. He'll be right on the back of that speed and get good room. And look, when that rail's down low, it's a tougher 1200. You've got to come off fence in the straight. The tough horse, he's going well with the weight difference. He'll run very good. He'll run top 3 for sure.
And the third of our runners we'll preview is Now Is the Hour. Our little friend behind us here today will carry 57.5 kilos. Angela Jones on board and jump from barrier 10. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $2.70 for the win, $1.45 for the place. Very progressive 4-year-old gelding. He's first up for his winter campaign. Finished off his campaign winning the Magic Millions Rising Stars for the boys before a break, and has looked good since resuming, including a good trial win last week.
Yeah, he's terrific. He come through that trial in great shape, and what I loved about the trial, when the horse challenged him, he ran good through the line. He's ready to go. He's fit well. He's wet well again on Tuesday morning. He's in really good order, this horse. He gets in at 85 beautifully at his rating. He's a above average horse that could play a hand in some of these better sprints, just underneath Group 1 level throughout this carnival. So it's a good starting point for him. He'll be the one they'll all have to catch, but he's certainly ready to run a good race. He goes on top for me.
On top,
yeah. He's a good horse, this horse.
Beautiful. Next race we'll preview is race 7, is a Classics Plate over 1,400 metres. We'll have the 2 runners in this race. First of those we'll preview is Free Carry. We'll carry 57 kilos with Chelsea Baker's 3 kilo claim. Jump from barrier 5. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $27 for the win, $6 for the place. He's been a bit disappointing this preparation compared to his previous standards. Out to the mile, drops back to 1,400 here, and the tongue tie goes on first time here as well.
I think that tongue tie is a key gear change for him. I just didn't love the way he was breathing, came back into scale, and he gave up too quick the other day. I think having him a bit more adaptable in his racing pattern, allowing the speed to go, or just being there but not having to lead, getting to control his breathing, I think would be a big plus for him. So I think the tongue tie is a really key gear change, particularly the way his recovery was the other day. You could see him run well. Can he beat the stablemate, which we'll talk about in a minute? Look, I'm not sure. But he'll be a big improver. And even Emily used to ride him a lot. I probably feel 7 furlongs at Eagle Farm and a mile at Doomben are his 2 trips.
Yes.
So I think we're back at the right trip. I wish it was a week away, but it's not. It's here now. But I was keen to get him back to 1,400 with the tongue tie on. So I expect a better performance than what we saw last start.
And the next runner we'll preview is 10 Deep. Will carry 55 kilos. Emily Lang on board and jump from barrier 8. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $3.20 for the win, $1.55 for the place. She's going to win place this preparation, so hopefully she can continue that trend, getting back in the winner's circle this time. Only just pipped last start at this track and trip. She's a mare in form and going super.
I should have been win-win. Should have won the other day. You know, the run opened, Chelsea went to put her through it, and then the run shut when she was in it. No fault of the jockeys at all. And the fact she could reel in that ground late just shows you how well she's going. She's in great shape. She's moving well. She looks well. You know, I think she'll win this, and I think we can go to the silk stocking on a lightweight and be very competitive.
Good. Next race we'll preview is race 8. It is a listed Daybreak Lover over 1,400 metres, a race we won last year with Boomtown Boss. We've got up to 2 chances this year's edition. First of those we'll preview is Spanish Treasure. We'll carry 57 kilos. Ryan Maloney on board and jump from barrier 2. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $3.90 for the win, $1.80 for the place. Second up for his winter campaign after a good closing third, first up over 1,200 metres. He did win the Magic Millions maiden over 1,400 earlier this summer. How do you think it sets up for him?
Yeah, really good. He just peaked on his run late the other day, which I did indicate that could be the case. I think he's found that improvement in him now. He's worked well this week. The way he's come on from that first up run's ideal. Obviously got a mindset to get to the Queensland Guineas, so he'll improve significantly off the other day, which he's found that. He's 2 kilos less, gets into a set weights race, which is suitable for him, and he's drawn low to do no work, so he's going to get a beautiful run. He'll present, he's fit enough now, he'll be very hard to beat.
Next runner we'll preview, we'll just touch on He's True Blue, will carry 57 kilos, jump from barrier 14 with Ben Thompson on board. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $71 for the win, $13 for the place. He's also second up and finished very strongly from the back in the same first up race as Spanish Treasure, but it makes it tricky from the gate.
Yeah, it does. Tricky from the gate, tough race, set weights, we don't get him well. We'll possibly leave him and go next Wednesday. We'll chat to Tim, and we're keen to get this horse a win on the board. Obviously, we've got him over in Europe at the Breeze Up sales that are on now. I think he's a really nice horse with a good future, but his better racing will be after this preparation once he develops more like the Australian horses. But I'm very, very happy with the horse. I just don't love this wide draw in this set weight race. So we'll probably leave him. We'll see him race next Wednesday. There's a good lead in for next Wednesday for you guys out there.
And the last race we'll preview is race 9. It is the listed Ascot Handicap over 1,000 metres. We won this race last year with King Kappa. It will also be in this year's edition. We'll have up to 5 runners in this year's edition. First of those we'll preview is Hidden Wealth. We'll carry 59.5 kilos. Ryan Maloney on board. Unfortunately, drawn barrier 15. We'll come in a few after scratchings. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $5 for the win, $2 for the place. He's won 3 out of 6 first up. Coming into this well off a dominant trial win last week with Ryan on board. How do you think it sets up with that tricky gate?
Look, I know Ryan was super happy with him off the trial. He looked well, he moved well. He's in great shape. The draw makes it tricky. We're 11 of 12 at the moment. He's not a horse that loves getting outside horses when he's exposed either. So it is hard from the barrier. I'll have a good chat to Ryan later on today and we'll work out what we do there. The fact he is 550 in the market indicates it's the right race for him. I've got no doubt. These races only get tougher as his carnival goes on. And he's definitely the right horse for a race like this. I would have loved a lower draw.
The next horse we'll preview is Rockribbed. We'll carry 58 kilos. Daniel Moore on board and drawn barrier 16 will come in a few. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $17 for the win, $4.40 for the place. He had a great summer campaign, winning 2 feature races over further distance. He can strike fresh, but he hasn't won below 1,200 metres in his career to date. Yeah,
and we just don't have that right 1,200 metre race to kick him off, unfortunately. So this is where we're kicking off. We're heading to the Archer with him up in Rockhampton 2 weeks from this Sunday. So it's an ideal kick-off point. I doubt he could trouble these speedsters at 1,000, but it's a lovely option for him to be ready for Rockhampton and the Archer.
Next horse we'll preview is Golden Boom. We'll carry 57 kilos. Angela Jones on board and jump from barrier 7. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $5 for the win, $2 for the place. Another with multiple stakes wins who can fly fresh over 1,000 metres, and he's ready to rock and roll after a nice trial win last week.
He's trialled well. He's in good nick, this horse. Comes off a pretty luckless sort of spring into summer with him last year. I think Angela's a good booking for him. The low draw is very important. She's got lovely hands and he'll breathe well, he'll flow. 1,000 is his go. 1,000 metre horses generally win 1,000 metre races when all things are taken into account. There's a big difference between a 1,200 metre horse and a 1,000 metre horse. He's a real, 5.5 furlong horse. So I think off the low draw, and I think he's well weighted, 57 kilos. He gets in really well here. I think he's the one to beat.
Next horse we'll preview is King Kappa, who we mentioned earlier. Will carry 55 kilos. CJ Graham on board, drawn barrier 13. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $21 for the win, $5 for the place. Just missed in the Magic Millions Syndicate race earlier this year. His best performance over the summer. He's had a short break and another one that's impressed of ours at the trials last week.
And I think the jockey booking with CJ Graham back on is important. And she gets on really well with this horse. He trials super. He's going really, really well. He's a marvel, this horse. He's sound, he's well, he's in a good place. The barrier makes it tricky for him as well. He'll race somewhere in the first, probably midfield, I'd say, in a race with this much speed in it, and be good to the line. I think you'll see him run well, but you can really look forward to him for the ATC Cup in 3 weeks' time at the Gold Coast. That'll be his right race. He can run well here, just whether he can cover ground and give a horse like Golden Boom a start, it's going to be tough.
And the last horse we'll preview is Liquor. She'll carry 53 kilos with Emily Lang on board and jump from drawn barrier 6. Early odds with Ladbrokes are $19 for the win, $4.80 for the place. She's a speedy mare who won the listed gold market in the summer to get her black type. She's had a little break and she's resumed well in a nice trial behind Golden Boom last week. Yeah,
she's a quick mare. She always improves off those trials. She trialled actually better, I thought, these trials what she did going into the summer. So she's not far away. She's up to the mark well. I mentioned before, 1,000 metre horses win those races. That's what she is. She's a real short course horse. This is a very good race. But look, she beat them all fair and square, beat Golden Boom fair and square at the Gold Coast. So look, she's a nice, sharp, on-pace horse. She'll run in this, then she'll run in that mare's race 11-10, and then she's off to the Broomere Sales where she'll be well sought after. But she's in good nick, really good nick. I can't see her not running top 4. With a bit of luck, we get Black Type run top 3.
Beautiful. Out of those 5,
I think Golden Boom's I think Golden Boom goes on top. I just think he's the right sort of 1,000-metre horse. Hidden Wealth, with any luck in running, could really trouble him. It'd be a messy race, this. It's a tricky race because there's so much pressure, but Golden Boom, whatever beats him will earn their stripes.
And now we'll move on into the final furlong of the Final Gallop. Tony, who was your best winning chance at Eagle Farm on Saturday?
Yeah, a day where we got a lot of good chances in. I'm finding it pretty hard to go past probably 10 deep.
Yes.
But I could easily say Spanish Treasure. I think he's a really good horse. So I'll stick with 10 deep. I just thought she should have won the other day. And you see those horses that have been held up and they get through. They're always so hard to beat their next start. I think she maps well. Emily rides her well. She's well weighted. I think she's the one.
Very good. And best each way chance, as you mentioned, we've got a fair few chances across the card, but any...
It's hard to go past Golden Boom at 550.
Yep.
I think that's just each way odds. He's probably the one there. Spanish Treasure at $4. He could get out a little bit, and if he does, he's a very good bet each way. So we've got many good chances, and that's sort of leaving, the filly out in the first. Balance the book's too short to back each way, obviously 250, but Surprise Honey at 750 or something. She's fantastic value.
And Tony, we've got a few runners at the Provincials at the Gold Coast on Saturday, possibly one at the Sunny Coast on Sunday. Who's your best at Provincials for the weekend?
It depends on barriers for a few of these going to the Gold Coast, but I thought Conformity was pretty well placed in 1,000, a 0 to 62. She needs to draw low, or Lady Milan in the filly 3-year-old fillies race. She's a good filly there. She went awful first up and we liked her. We've added a tongue tie to her now just to get her controlling her breathing. I'm sure she choked herself down the other day. So there's 2 fillies there that could do a really good job at the Gold Coast, but both need to draw low. And if this show happens to get out before the last at Ipswich today, Braveheart is my best of the Provincials, but Lockie might not have this out in time, so that'll be on Lockie's fault if this comes out after Braveheart.
And just track work this week on Tuesday, obviously a big morning with a lot of our good horses going around. Anything that caught your eye at track work this week?
I thought all the Ascot Handicap horses on the course proper were really good. They all worked out on the course proper here. They were great. They were hard to fold. Hidden Wealth was exceptional. I thought they were good, and also loved the work of Transatlantic and Parade. They worked just before them on the A grass a bit earlier in the morning. They were fantastic. He's really building up well. Transatlantic. He's our main Stradbroke chance this year, and obviously then we went off to the trials at Deagon where Antino was a star of the show for me there, and he did everything I wanted to see, which we touched on earlier in the show. So, it's really building up here. I know we've got all the Southern. Every time I turn the TV on the Sky, there's another Southern horse coming in for the Carnival. So it's going to be a really exciting and tough couple of months with the Carnival on, but we can't wait for it actually.
And now it is time for Cavs Corner, proudly supported by Brisbane Airport Hotels Group. He went the win multi last week, and lo and behold, both his picks came second with Savagery Vibe and Boozy Miss.
Yeah, I wish he'd just go place. I've had enough of this. He's just costing us wins.
We'll see what he's got this week, see if he's learned from his lessons last week. So we'll head over to Cavs Corner for this week and see what his multi is.
Welcome to Cavs Corner for this week. No joy last week. This week we travel Eagle Farm. We'll go Balance the Books a win into Spanish Treasure a place. About $4.30 for the dollar dividend. Good punting, guys.
So Tony, Cav has gone Balance the Books a win, Spanish Treasure a place. So he's gone the win place.
Yeah, I like his win place model and I like his place model. So, if I was him, I probably would have went the other filly in the first, the other mare.
Surprise
Honey, the place, into Spanish Treasure, the place. I would have went place. But
there we go.
She's Balanced the Books. She's going to be giving him a start, but she's awfully talented, which we've seen her do that here. Sit off him and just power on him. That's what she'll do Saturday. Yeah. So, no, I don't mind his multi. It's not too bad, but geez, he's often out of luck.
Well, Tony, obviously, as we mentioned earlier, building into the Winter Carnival certainly kicks off unofficially this weekend for us. So good luck this weekend. Got plenty of runners there. Hopefully we can snag a couple of winners for the punters there this week.
Yeah, mate, looking forward to it. This is like an unofficial kick-off to our carnival, which we'll talk as we get more into it. But really exciting few months here for us, for the stable, and everyone actually with the Racing Queensland Winter Carnival on our doorstep.
Good luck, punters. Cheers.